Are you a parent of a child who is experiencing difficulty in reading? Are you worried that they will not be able to perform well in their academics? Do you wish to teach your children reading skills? Then you are at the right place. In today's episode of Skill Building, I'm going to talk about reading skills, especially in children with developmental disabilities. So stay tuned. Welcome to my channel Dignity in Disability. I'm Anuradha Deshpande, mother of a young man experiencing intellectual disabilities. I'm also a professional, a clinical psychologist, counselor, and a special educator. Founder of Care and Care Life Skill Academy, and this pandemic turned me into a digital disability life skill coach. And through my channel Dignity in Disability, I bring 2 weekly episodes of Tuesday Tags and Friday Facts. Both these episodes contain information and tactical solutions to problems around developmental disabilities and other allied topics. And these topics are well researched and are out of my 30 years of association in the field of disability, both as a parent and a professional. So, in today's episode of Tuesday Tact, I'm going to talk about reading skills in children with developmental disabilities. And to learn more about that, let us go and check out a presentation. So, reading skills in children with developmental disabilities. What is reading? Reading is a process of taking in and making sense or finding out meanings of letter, symbols, words, especially by sight or by touch. Most of us learn it through sense of sight, but people with visual impairment use touch as their main way of reading. Reading is an act of looking at some printed or written words and trying to comprehend what they are trying to say, or the act of saying those words loud and making sense out of that or interpreting those words. When you say you are reading, it involves 2 things. One is it requires us to identify the words in the written or in the printed material. And this is called a process of word recognition. And the second aspect of it is construct an understanding from them. Whatever word you have identified, you have to find a meaning and understanding about them. And that's called a process of comprehension. What are the different components of reading? There are 5 major components of reading: phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, reading comprehension, and fluency. When we say reading is a very astoundingly complex cognitive process. While we often think that reading as one singular act, our brains are actually engaging in a number of tasks simultaneously each time we sit down with a book to read. So there are 5 aspects of reading, and those processes are phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, reading comprehension, and fluency. Phonemic awareness refers to the student's ability to focus and manipulate these phonemes. For example, in a word cat, C-A-T, cat, each of these alphabets have very specific phonemes in them. And it is the ability of a student to focus and manipulate these phonemes is what will result in good reading skills. The goal of phonemic awareness is to help the child understand the specific sounds, identify the sound sequence, and understand the role of phonemes in a particular word formation. Phonic awareness is basically oral in nature. Meaningful interactive games and activities helps to increase this phonemic awareness. Phonics, on the other hand, is a relationship between the letters which are written language and the individual sounds of spoken language. Phonics instruction helps the student to understand, know the relationships between reading and spelling of words. Phonics helps children to understand the word recognition skills. Children can then apply the sound and symbol relationship to read effectively. Fluency. Fluency helps readers to read orally with appropriate speed, accuracy, and proper expression of words. Fluency is the ability to read as well as speak and to make sense of the text without having to stop and decode what we have read. Vocabulary. Vocabulary is closely connected with comprehension. The larger the reader's vocabulary, it is easier to make sense of the text. Vocabulary can be developed by speaking to people, by listening to people, and also read storybooks and also through lots of reading. Next is comprehension. Comprehension is the most complex activity in the process of reading. It is to understand what they have read. Vocabulary development and instructions play a very critical role in understanding and comprehending. Young readers develop text comprehension through a variety of techniques, including answering questions and summarization of what they have read. What are the benefits of reading? Reading helps us to gain valuable knowledge. We understood that it is a complex process. So going through that helps us to exercise our brain. It improves our focus since it requires you to really pay attention to the sound of the words. Then you add to the formation of written and spoken words as phonics, and then find out the meaning of it and be fluent in it. All these things require a lot of focus and attention. So by reading, you develop focus. Improve your memory. It improves your memory. When you are reading, what you are doing is you are going to store many of the things in your short-term memory and then also shift more relevant to your long-term memory. So if you read continuously many things, then your storage capacity of both your short-term and long-term increases, and you can easily retrieve some of the relevant information whenever it is necessary. Enjoy entertainment. Whenever you read a book, whether it is fiction or a non-fiction, it gives you a lot of information. And if you read on the topic of your interest, it not only gives you a lot of knowledge and information, but it's also very entertaining. Improves your ability to empathize. When you start reading, you understand the feelings and emotions of other people, the way they express, and you start empathizing. Improve your communication skills. Whenever you read, you come across many circumstances which equips you to deal with effective communication. It reduces stress. When you are not aware of several things across and you don't know what other people are doing, it can be very confusing, and continuously being in a state of confusion can create a lot of stress in you. But reading exactly does the opposite of it. When you are able to read and understand many stuffs, you're in a better position to understand what is going on around you. That will stop you getting confused, and it leads to a stress-free life. Improves your mental health. Again, it is related to our previous point. A good reading will expose you to various circumstances, various emotions, and you will be able to manage all these things in a very effective way, which will improve your mental health. When all these things happen, You are in a better position to deal with life in a more healthier way, more understanding way, and in better balance of your emotions. All these things together can lead to a very peaceful long life. So what are the common signs of reading disabilities? Children with learning disabilities or children who have problem reading will find it very difficult in word recognition. They will have confusion between letters and sound, trouble remembering words or letters of the alphabet, difficulty in reading loud, lack of expression while reading because they don't understand, comprehension is not there, so the right expression does not come while they read, inability to comprehend phrases and sentences, high distractibility during reading, and high avoidance of reading tasks, including tantrums and also refusing to go to school. So as parents, what can we do? Talk to your child's teacher and understand what exactly the reading problem your child is doing. Is it phonemes, or is it phonic awareness, or is it fluency, or it is comprehension? You can find out from your teacher and think of constructive steps with an open mind. There is no point in getting frustrated and show your frustration on your child. That will only reduce their self-esteem and they will not be able to learn or read properly. Consult your pediatrician to rule out any organic or medical issues that could impede your child's ability to read. For example, you can go them to an ophthalmologist, and if they have any problem in their sight, that can be rectified with a pair of glass. Rule out for other possibilities why your child is not able to read by consulting your pediatrician. Consulting your child's pediatrician. Once all this thing is done, you can consult an educational psychologist or a clinical psychologist and evaluate your child's ability to read in relationship to all other previous tests. Talk to your school authority about your child's evaluation assessment. You can, after all these things, the screening or all these things is done, you can go to your school authorities and talk to them again that we have done all these tests. Now how to go about their program. And encourage them to read stories and books that are skill appropriate in place of recommended syllabus books. If your child is finding difficulty in reading their syllabus books, then it will be more difficult or more frustrating for them if you ask them to read the lessons again and again. Rather than that, you can make your child read some storybooks or something which can build these phonics or phonemes and other skills, rather than making them read the same prescribed book by the school. Choose an appropriate remedial intervention program offered by a trained special educator with emphasis of increasing phonological awareness, decoding skills, sight word vocabulary, and reading comprehension. These people will help you to form a good reading program for your child of all these components, which will help them to work further. Ensure good follow-up with your remedial teachers. If certain things are not working, talk to them. Don't discontinue the service because it's not yielding some results. You can talk to them and revisit the program and revise them which suits your child. Then encourage your child to play, make friends, and participate in a lot of activities. This will boost their self-esteem and confidence, and it will help them to learn more and better. Many schools make an effort to sensitize their students to special aid programs. So such schools are very conducive for inclusion. There will be less bullying from those schools. So enroll your children in such schools, which also gives them a chance to pursue individualized educational program. Then one important caution for parents: tuitions and extra coaching classes will not help. They will make them feel frustrated and worthless, so don't engage them in that way. Tips for reading skills: display letters and words around the classroom. This may even you can do it at your home. letters everywhere, or you can label them with different names, like this is dining room, this is bedroom, this is bathroom. Children are very curious. They will want to explore reading them in a natural way that will increase their word recognitions very well. Create word families. By this, what I mean is families of words which rhymes similar, like bad cat, mad rat. So you can match those rhyme sounds in such a way that it will be very interesting to them. So play decoding games. When we say that decoding is a process of sounding words out, once a child has learned the sounds of each letter or a group of letters, they will be able to begin putting them into words. Learning to decode is a very important step in learning to read, as the more the students are able to decode words, the more quickly they will be able to automatically identify them and also read. Next is teach phonemic awareness. When we say phonemic awareness, we know that it's the smallest sound in English language. It is a sound of each syllable or each alphabet makes. It also involves the sounds of letters like TH or CH or PH. It also is about long vowels and short vowels. So these are all phonemic awareness, and all these things should be taught to our children. Sight words are those words in English language which doesn't fit into phonic rules, and such words can be taught through playing games rather than putting them in a printed form. Play games like fish, where you have magnetic fishes, and on the back of each of them there is a sight word. So the child is asked to fish them out, and once they take it out, read the sight word behind those fishes. So games like that will make them very interesting. Then word search bingo. When you start reading a story or a lesson, give each child a piece of a word search related to the lesson you are going to read. So when you are reading those stories or reading those lessons, children are required to mark those word searches in the sheet provided to them. At the end of the lesson, you can ask the child to talk about the words, understand their meanings, and this will be a very interesting way of learning language and also learning to read. Then help children to read by making it fun. Monday reading is at cities very difficult for them to come by, so make it interesting with some fun games. Stay on the activity for a longer time and learn out of it. Then concluding thoughts. Children eventually start reading with the help of parents, teachers, remedial educators, and friends. Early development of reading skill is very, very essential, and effort should be made to identify children with reading disabilities and implement proper interventions at a very early stage. A holistic approach to the understanding and intervention of learning problems could bring out marvelous results. Those are some of the things we learned about reading skills, especially to develop them in our children with developmental disabilities. So if you like this video, subscribe my channel and ring the bell icon so that you will receive all the notifications when I upload a new video on my channel. Also like, share and comment on this video. If you're still not the member of my exclusive Facebook group, please join them, the link to which is given in the description box. Also visit my website www.anuradhadeshpande.com to know more about my work and how you can benefit out of it. That's all from this video today. Till we meet next time, take good care of yourselves, and I will see you there.